Today, the 28th of October 2025, the Malian airstrike actually hit a key terrorist leader in the name Omar Abu Idrisi. He was in company of two of his other lieutenants, where the Bayraktar Akinci drone actually on a recon mission spotted them, gave them enough time to have a little bit of discussion. They were moving, and as they were moving, something happened. Now, I don't know if the Bayraktar Akinci drone can be noticed. I thought it was a stealth drone. So they noticed the presence of the Bayraktar Akinci drone. What it looked like to me, they were trying to escape. They were almost, it was a very fast spectacle. And before you know it, they tried to escape, but they could not overstep the blast radius of the Bayraktar Akinci drone. And as I speak to you, Omar Abu Idrisi and his comrades are now where they're supposed to be. You already know what it is. We don't have to talk with every, so we don't violate the YouTube, friendly policy. So let's move forward. They've been liberated. We actually discussed, for those that are new to the language of liberation, there are several types of liberation. So they've now been liberated. Now, the ICC claims not to be informed about the exit of the three Sahel states from the International Criminal Court. It stated that it was not officially admitted. There was no official proceedings and all of that. And hence, the exit is termed as illegal. Ladies and gentlemen, we actually heard that the Sahel state declared that they no longer want to be a part of the International Criminal Court, which I feel, before they make such a bold and emphatic statements, there must have been some legal, backup to that. Countries don't just make statements like that. I believe they officially made the build up to that announcement, and they have the right to actually back out of it, because voluntarily they joined this organization, and voluntarily they say the ICC has now overlived its purpose, and it's no longer serving the purpose through which it was created. So why not we walk out of it? So the ICC is now saying that, look, the exit is illegal. And ladies and gentlemen, the question is, what are they going to do about it? Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger is saying that we are getting out of this. So what are you going to do about it? It's a sovereign state's decision. It's a sovereign alliance decision. And they are making it in solidarity with the African people. We are in support. This is not just some leaders making this decision. I'm a Nigerian, and I really give my green light to that decision. We love it, okay? We have presidents and we have puppets. It all starts with a P. So whichever P you want to go with is your choice to make. But those are president right there, and they've just made that decision. It's better you listen, the earlier the better. So now, ladies and gentlemen, Mali continues to intensify its anti-terrorism campaign with surgical strike in the Timbuktu and Mopti region. And with this information, the Malian Air Force said about 25 jihadists were liberated. And in one of these big strike, that led to this serious liberation, there is a guy that has been going very viral on X. He actually said some things. He made a lot of ambiguous statement. He mentioned the name of Assimi Goïta, the president of Mali.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر.
I mean, the disrespect. But ladies and gentlemen, the disrespect did not go unpunished because, moments after, they tried their best to, you know, they were liberated. And he was properly identified and all that. He even got submerged under a motorcycle and all of that. So, there's consequence for every action. The third law of Newton, if we don't forget that, he said for every action there is equal and opposite reaction. But sometimes the reaction might be catastrophic. So you better be what type of reaction you gonna expect. So according to legitimate targets, sources say claims that Russia has now supplied 118,000 liters of fuel to Mali. Now, the reason why I'm bringing this information out is you still have Fox News, you still have some, others propaganda, mainstream media, still bringing this information that, look, there is a blockade in Mali and fuel is not coming in. We've dropped overwhelming evidence. We are the ones in Africa. We are the ones that are aware of what is going on in this country. I was shocked one day when I heard that something happened in my own village. They were broadcasting it on the mainstream media and nothing happened. This is my community. If anything happened in my community, I know about it because, look, at that point in my life, you will find me almost everywhere that anything is going chaotic in my community, like, man. But I saw this information on the mainstream media that this is happening, that is happening, and it was all a lie. At the end of the day, these were the things that actually drew me closer to this independent journalism. Like, people deserve the truth. It's not for any type of political interest or whatsoever. My own interest is that people get to hear the truth at every point in time. So, but my cautionary tale is, now that fuel is now entering Mali, like for free, I think the internal security within Mali, should now be improved. It was the supply chain route that was actually, truncated before by these elements, and Mali actually disintegrated a lot of these guys. And in one of the operations that the Malians actually carried out recently, we've actually posted these on our Telegram channel. There was a machinery from a European country, a big European country, a bold European country. I would say one of the E3. He was actually involved in sabotaging the logistic. He was liberated. His picture, everything, was shown. We have actually posted it on our Telegram channel for, respect to his family and all of that. He fought a good fight of faith based on his own belief. And yeah, he got the necessary corresponding reaction that actually tally with the type of fight he came to fight. This is not your fight at the end of the day. Leaders can have conflict of interest and all of that, but when you come from a very distant place to come and sow insecurity and chaos to the peace and progress of innocent people, it might actually have a very, very devastating consequence. Now, in Burkina Faso, the military of Burkina Faso continues to keep the sovereign border integrity of the Burkinabe, with the Ivorian border. I've not seen a single Ivorian soldier covering their territory, most of the time their borders, but you have the VDP together with some special forces, covering that territory. And you can see the line. The troops are all over the place. They are prepared for combat. And Why are they there? They are not there to cause chaos. Let me just clarify something. The Burkinabe armed forces are there because you can see, if you look at that place, there is supposed to be the Burkinabes here. You're supposed to have the Ivorians not far away. I mean, their security network. But there are no border guards there. These are just empty territories. And I don't want to say that the Ivorian authorities are aware that elements of the JNIM actually take advantage of these empty border spaces that are not being secured, and they type of orchestrate their dastardly acts from here. So, Burkina Faso actually being aware of this type of possibilities, they've actually beefed up the capabilities along this border. They have long range weapons stationed not far away from this border. You remember, Captain Watao used to be the commander along that route, before he was transferred to the southeastern theater of operation. And you can see Burkina Faso is a very, very secured country against the propaganda that we've always heard that Burkina Faso is not a safe place. Um, People are now returning back from diaspora. They're now returning back to Burkina Faso, and you can see that a lot of people are happy. We even have a lot of people that were crying. A lot of people were even thanking God that they got there safely and all of that. I can tell you there is a big opportunity in Burkina Faso. Should you have the intention to invest in Africa, you want to come back home, Burkina Faso, for me, is the best place to come to. Law abiding, highly secured. Look, this whole thing of terrorism and all of that, it happens almost in every country in West Africa. Almost. Almost. The northern territory of Ghana is equally kinetic. Ghana is a safe place, right? But I'm telling you that the northern aspect of it, there is a lot going on, okay? It's not roses and purple hibiscus. There is gun violence even in the United States, right? There is chaos everywhere. Look at what is going on in Sudan, right? But can you imagine that the mainstream media is not talking about what is going on in Sudan, right? That is one of the most devastating humanitarian catastrophe I've seen in recent time. They are not giving it the type of publicity it should get. What is going on in collaboration with the UAE and the RSF, what is going on in Sudan is unbelievable. Ladies and gentlemen, please, I want you to try within your capability, your capacity, to try to just give your voice and give your support to Sudan any way or form you have. I'm going to type Free Sudan in the comment section, and I'm going to tag UAE. They've been a big contributing factor to the humanitarian catastrophe in Sudan. And in this moment, our hearts is with the Sudanese people. We love you as you continue to stay strong. If there's anything we can do, man, I am more than ready to support in my own capacity. This is the best I can do for now. If there is any other way that I can help, if there's a GoFundMe account or whatsoever, I can help in my own capacity. But ladies and gentlemen, look, the UAE is creating a lot of mess in the Sudan. So let's move forward, right? So the mainstream media is telling you that, oh, Mali is about to collapse, Burkina Faso. It's all propaganda, right? But they're not talking about the UAE. So it really tells you that there is something of critical interest to these people that is happening in the Sudan. So don't fall for the reading, right? Always remember the lyrics. So right now, there's a question that has been going viral in Nigeria. Is there a Christian genocide? I have multiple materials, right, that confirms that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. I have actually heard from multiple, because I am a friend to so many Muslim. Like I've said before, You can't find me in a single religion. I'm a man of different religion. You might find me in the church today. Tomorrow, I might be in the mosque. Next tomorrow, you might find me somewhere else. As long as everybody worship God, I'm good with it. I don't know how to explain my own way of seeing things, right? I believe that religion is good, but I'm not brainwashed, okay? I go to everywhere. So I've been able to soak it all in and I just live my life. I believe that your humanity, your sense of humanity is what counts at the end of the day. And I don't want to be indoctrinated. I'm this. No, I'm serving God. I'm not serving doctrine. I'm serving God. So let's move forward, right? There has been a claim that there is Christian genocide in Nigeria. Okay, let me show you what one of the Nigerian pastor, has actually said about this. Not just him, I'm going to post another video. To be honest with you, there is a Christian genocide going on.
There's a lot of distortion going on. People claiming that there is no genocide of Christians in the nation. Information with facts can never be thwarted. You see people buried in hundreds and you say there's no genocide. What a wicked set of people. Agreed, there are people killed in other places for other reasons. But this one is very clear. And gradually is eating down to the south, southwest, southeast, and many so-called leaders for their personal interests are claiming it's not true. Selling out their faith if they have it at all. Jesus said, when I come, will I find the faith? And we are standing here to say to Jesus, the faith will keep standing. Raise your voice in a few seconds. Father, strengthen the brethren. Strengthen.
Let's get over this whole propaganda thing that there's no Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. It's a recipe to make it into, where it is, right? I want to live with my conscience right. And by the time my time is right, I want to go with my conscience right. There is Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. Okay, there is a big campaign going on in Nigeria against Christians, right? If it's not happening, there is nothing for me to gain by saying it is happening. Nigeria has gotten to a point where everything is being politicized. People are being paid to tell lies and all of that. But I'm not going to do that. It is in the interests of so many lives, innocent life, for us to tell the truth. For the fact that you all have given me the privilege and the opportunity to talk to you every day means I owe you something, that everything I'm going to say here is the truth and nothing but the truth. So there is a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria. Case closed, point blank, period. So, and a lot of people are talking about it. And if care is not taken, it could end in a very devastating fashion. The politicians don't care. They've never ever cared. One of the men that used to care, CG Musa, the former chief of defense staff, has now been retrenched because of the instructions he gave. You want to hear about the instructions he gave? Watch this video.
I do not want to hear that I was not giving any command. As long as you are deployed, your task is to secure your community. You are all aware on what condition you are supposed to shoot at the enemy. When your life is at stake and you have no other means of protecting yourself, you are allowed to fire. When your colleague's life is at stake and there is no way you can stop, you are allowed to fire. And when the community or any infrastructure you are protecting is being destroyed and you have no other means of stopping them, you are allowed to fire. So do not be afraid to take out any criminal or any enemy that is destroying or is doing any acts of killing. Is that clear? Yes, but like I've told you, the communities you are protecting must know that you are there to protect them, not to go there and infringe on their human rights. I'm going to hold every commander from the sector commander to the company commander to the platoon commander to the section commanders responsible. If anything happens within your AOR and you do nothing, you will be court-martialed. That I guarantee you. But again, our policy is to reward hard work and punish indolence. When you do well, we'll commend you, we'll give you awards, and then we'll take care of you the more. You will be promoted. Is that clear? Yes, sir. With the new concepts, all armed forces personnel will be withdrawn from within the towns and will go out into the bushes. All checkpoints.
Now, I just want to remind you not to forget to remember Sudan in your prayer. People, it is our responsibility to pray for our brothers in the Sudan, right? There is nowhere for us to go, okay? The Sudanese people, they are not going anywhere. If they had the luxury of running out of their country, they would have, right? But the situation is very, very desperate. We have to prevail. We have no other option. If there's another option, it could have been better, but there's no option. It's no retreat. It's no surrender at this point. So don't forget to remember Sudan people in your prayer. It's your boy 7200 signing out. Enough said, but before I go, I want to appreciate you all for your support. I want to thank you. There would be no Android community without every member of this community. You guys are the MVPs. You guys are the VIPs. You are the most important people on the planet to me at this point. I appreciate you. Much love and big respect.